A 16-year-old kid with no pilot's license, no flight training, not even a lesson, just stole a plane, took off into the dark, and landed it. Well, kinda landed it. The propeller was destroyed, the landing gear was gone, and when Colton Harris-Moore woke up from being knocked unconscious, he immediately threw up all over the cockpit. But he survived. And then, I kid you not, he went and stole another one. Hold that seat tight, because this is the most unhinged true crime story you will ever hear in your life, and every single word of it actually happened. So let's go back to the beginning, because you need to understand where this kid came from to understand how he became who he became. Camano Island, Washington, early 2000s. You picture an island and you think tropical, boats, Mai Tais. No. This is rural Washington, trailer parks, dense forests, the kind of place where if nothing goes wrong in your life, you still might not make it out. And for Colton, everything went wrong. His dad left, never paid $1 of child support, gone. His mom, Pam, was an alcoholic, and not the functional kind, the kind where her kid tried to check her into rehab and she said no, the kind where he bought her AA handbooks and she burned them in front of his face. Child Protective Services was called to that house dozens of times. Dozens. And every single time, nothing changed. So Colton did what any kid would do when his house wasn't safe and nobody was coming to help. He went into the woods. At 15 years old, this kid set up a tent deep in the forest of Camano Island and started living there. Not camping, living. Full time. Because the woods felt safer than home. And to eat? He was sneaking into neighbors' houses and raiding their fridges, frozen pizza, whatever he could find. The neighbors started noticing. Murmurs spread across the island about some mysterious kid who broke in but never took anything except food. Never touched the alcohol. Never trashed the place. Just ate and left. People were confused. Who does that? Now here's where the story takes its first turn. At school, Colton was the weird kid, the one nobody talked to. The one the bullies targeted because he showed up in worn-out shoes and clearly hadn't eaten a real meal in days. But one day, a new kid stands up to the bullies for him, Harley Davidson. And yes, that is actually the kid's name. Harley had just gotten out of 2 years in juvie for residential burglary. His dad was gone too. His mom was a junkie. But somehow, Harley had a brand new laptop, fresh sneakers, and an iPod. All stolen, obviously. And Harley looked at Colton and basically said, "Bro, you're doing this wrong." They started meeting at midnight. Harley taught him how to pick locks, find hidden spare keys, case a house properly, and he gave Colton his personal philosophy, which honestly sounds like something a 40-year-old man would say while pointing at a whiteboard. "This ain't hurting nobody. Everything I steal is insured. They'll get reimbursed and get something even better." Wise words from a 16-year-old who'd done 2 years in juvie. But you know what? For Colton, it worked. He wasn't hungry anymore. He was playing video games in empty vacation homes, taking spare change for lunch money. Life was actually okay for the first time, and it would have stayed that way. Except Colton got greedy with the laptop thing. The FBI showed up at his mom's door one morning. Not for the food, for identity theft. Credit cards, driver's licenses, laptops, checkbooks, a telescope. The kid had been busy. His mom told the feds he didn't even live there anymore. They searched the house anyway, found nothing, because she was actually telling the truth. So they followed a scent trail with bloodhounds deep into the forest and found his tent, unzipped it, and just stuff fell out everywhere. Laptops, jewelry, credit cards, checkbooks, all of it. Mountains of it. But no Colton. He was watching from the trees the whole time. The next morning, a handwritten note appeared on his mom's doorstep. "Cops were here. Everything's on lockdown. I'm leaving. Won't be back. Cops want to play. It's no longer a game. It is war." He was 15. Now the FBI brings in professional manhunters. Wanted posters go up all over town. And Colton upgrades. He starts buying night vision goggles and lockpicks using the stolen credit cards. He's hiding in empty vacation homes when FBI helicopters fly overhead. Police pull up to houses he's mid-burglary in, and he slips out the back. Homeowners come back from vacation and find Colton just sitting on their couch. And by the time they process what they're looking at, he's already gone. For months. At 15 years old, I'm not saying it's right, I'm saying that's objectively insane. But he had one habit that kept getting him caught. He left the lights on. A neighbor spots lights on in a vacation house that should be empty, calls the cops. Dozens of officers surround the building silently. No sirens, no lights. And this time, Colton was actually stuck. He pleaded guilty. 3 counts of residential burglary, sentenced to 3 years in maximum security juvenile detention. The island slept for the first time in months. Here's the part nobody talks about. In juvie, Colton actually changed. He isolated himself from the gang members who were stealing his commissary money, and he just read aviation manuals, flight theory, meteorology, the kind of stuff you'd study if you were actually trying to get a pilot's license. His grades improved. He followed the rules. He had a plan to go to college. 10 months in, because of good behavior, they transferred him to a lower security group home.
I'm ready for this.
No fence, more freedom. And he was genuinely doing well. Then, one night, during the midnight head count, the guards found his window unlocked and his bed empty. Of course he did. Now he's a fugitive again, but this time, it's different. Escaping juvie adds 4 years to your sentence. The cops were so desperate to end this that they publicly offered him a deal. Turn yourself in will only add 28 days. 28 days versus 4 years. And a 17-year-old kid whose brain isn't fully developed looked at that deal and said, no thanks, and kept running. He tries to find Harley. Harley's in prison, tried to steal a 1,000-pound safe from his own mom's church. Different story. So Colton's back to breaking into homes, buying night vision gear, and lockpicks with stolen credit cards. Same playbook. Until one night, police chase a Mercedes doing 100 miles an hour down the road. It veers into a parking lot, hits a tree, and the driver is just gone. Vanished. Inside the car, night vision goggles, stolen credit cards, driver's licenses, and a digital camera with photos on it of Colton Harris-Moore, grinning. That photo ended up on wanted posters across the entire county. And that face, that Mona Lisa smile, made him famous. Facebook fan pages, merchandise, news crews. It's 2010. The recession is still destroying regular people. Banks got bailed out. Corporations got billions. And here's this broke kid from a trailer park outsmarting the FBI, the DHS, and Homeland Security simultaneously. People lost their minds for him. And Colton knew it. On September 8th, he steals a $250,000 boat, drives it to Friday Harbor, walks to the local airport, and steals $1 million airplane, crashes it back on Orcas Island, gets through a police barricade somehow, steals a twin-engine boat, crosses illegally into Canada, does some more burglaries, steals a few cars, road trips across to Creston, Canada, steals an Escalade, drives to Idaho, steals another plane, flies it from Idaho all the way back to Washington, and this time actually lands it safely in the mountains.